Okay, welcome to the stream.
You have to put that first part in because that was funny.
Welcome to the stream. This is the first time we started trying to stream, and there wasn't any other times where my microphone messed up. We're going to stream 5 chapters tonight, which is our usual. But after tonight, we're not going to be streaming again until 4:13, where we're going to try to maybe blow through the rest of these epilogues. And then maybe if we get through that fast enough, we'll maybe do a little Homestuck 2. Who's to say?
I want to get to the Dave Cat part if we do that.
Yeah, there is Dave Cat in there.
So have y'all read it? Have y'all read Homestuck 2?
I've only looked at the pictures, which
Same
Eugene
here.
has informed me is the best way to read it.
I see it as a fashion show.
I haven't read any of it.
Neither have I! I'm excited.
God, I can hear my sister screaming and fucking swearing.
Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that you're about to read Homestuck 2 in a while?
What?
Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that you're going to be reading Homestuck 2 in a while?
I mean, she did scream, no, why, fuck.
That's why.
Something that I'm kind of interested about is I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to format Homestuck 2 streams, because they do have the panels and they also have the text. So I can't just like have it all here like this like I do now.
Are they all the same size images?
They have actually there's a lot more image size variety in Homestuck 2 than Homestuck 1. Which sounds good. But it's fucking hell for formatting.
Okay, briefly, I want to explain for my sister because she has no idea what the fuck we're doing. So briefly, I'm just gonna say that that we're reading the epilogues to Homestuck. So there was Homestuck, then there's the epilogues, and then there's Homestuck 2. So this is a continuation of Homestuck, and we are on chapter 31 of the meat path. So there's 2 different paths in the epilogues that you can take, and it's meat and candy. And you're meant to read, I guess, both of them in however order you want to. So yeah, we're currently on meat, and we're at the same spot we are in candy, and we read like 5 of each chapter, and then go back and forth. Or 5 of each line, and then go back and forth. So we'll read 5 chapters of meat, then go read 5 chapters of candy, then go back to meat, then back to candy. Yes, there's a second Homestuck! And technically there's 3! And there's 2 games!
Mm-hmm.
The games are
There's
better.
actually
Isn't there...
There's actually 3 games.
Yeah, no, because there's
High Swap Act 1, there's High Swap Friend Sim, and then there's
and then
Pester
there's
Quest.
Pester Chum.
There's
Yeah,
Pesticle
not Chum,
Questicle.
Pester Chum.
And then
Can I
there's going to
add
be High
something?
Swap Act 2 in 2025. Looking real forward to that.
God, it's so far away. I mean, I did buy Hive Swap because it was in the Humble Bundle, the thing that they're doing for coronavirus, where pay $30 and you get a bajillion.
You didn't own it until then?
Whoops.
Maybe we could stream it then. That sounds fun.
Yeah, no, that would be fun.
That is a good piece of Homestuck.
Yeah, I did play Hive Swap. I got through Act 1, and I think I started Act 2. But that was like about it.
Wait, there was no Act 2 of
you
Hive Swap.
started-
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? Wasn't
What
there?
do you
You went to the troll area.
Yeah, that's
You
not
went to, like,
Act
the
2
troll
of Hive Swap. That's just like a part of Act 1.
Oh, was it? Then I didn't finish Act
Yeah,
1.
Act 2 is going to be a different game.
I would like to bring up something about Homestuck because I feel like the way you explained it, this person has never heard or read.
No,
Homestuck.
she's read Homestuck. I mean, I don't know if she's finished Homestuck, and also this is my sister.
Okay, well, if you haven't finished Homestuck, I'd like to say that by the end of it, the writers of Homestuck made a big deal about trying to break the literary norms of the story by making it so that there's a billion acts, there's a billion all this stuff and all that. And just don't read Homestuck. Read something
I didn't
good.
finish it.
Which is why I'm now announcing that our project after Homestuck 2 is going to be the original Homestuck reread. I'm fucking kidding.
Okay, you know what? That would be kind of fun, actually. I wouldn't mind that.
If I can bully Josh into joining us, then sure, that sounds great.
Oh, by the way, you guys want to hear what my sister said after I ended my stream? She messaged me and she was like, gimme link to Homestuck stream. Want to hear your voice? And I said, I will link once it started, okay? And she said, hey, thanks.
That's so nice.
So precious. She's like, I just want to hear your voice. She didn't care what was happening. She's just like, I want to listen to you.
Man, I wish my family members were like that.
And if you're watching
I'm
on
also
YouTube,
not living with them anymore, so...
Yeah.
I mean...
They realized how good I was after I left.
I am. Well.
And if you're watching...
Independence.
Oh.
Nah, I'm joking.
Hey, wait a minute. My microphone is not optimized.
Oh.
None
I
of
thought
my
you were about to say it
microphone.
wasn't playing again.
I thought you were gonna say
No. It's just that none of my microphone. Noise suppression.
Yeah, I have to be back at home because of the whole coronavirus thing. It's kind of disappointing.
Okay.
But, you know, it's not actually a big deal for me.
It's not a big deal for me now.
Nothing's changed for me.
Okay, the microphone is still fucking...
Stuff has only slightly changed for me, but I don't really mind it.
Yeah.
These are good changes.
These are... Well, I mean, look, it means I get to try and get, like, a Twitch career to take off a little bit.
I'm not sure how to completely suppress this. It
What are you
keeps
trying
having
to
little
suppress?
flickers on the microphone.
Are you looking for microphone filters within Streamlabs?
It should, yeah, it's noise suppression.
Yeah, there's noise suppression.
That's what I'm doing.
But there's also a noise gate just like there is for Discord, and you can adjust the open and close settings.
Why didn't it carry that over? It carried all my other shit over. Carried everything else over. What if I do both? Let's see. Oh, that's good. Blah, 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 blah.
Why
Okay,
did you just
good.
picture that being the way you moan? Oh, that's good. oh, that's good.
I don't know, just like drop a sound goodizer on top of your voice, you know?
Oh fuck, you're right. And I should also make it so whenever I speak, it goes into a MIDI filter and then it translates that back with DVS sax.
Oh yeah.
I
My
think that would
sister
really...
said I would watch you guys stream the first Homestuck together. Sounds cool.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna say I only want to do that if I can bully Josh into joining us.
Aw.
Because Josh is going to read Homestuck whether he likes it or not. And that means I need to watch JoJo whether I like it or not.
Well,
I'm gonna
I'm
watch
sorry.
it with my boyfriend.
Good
I
luck.
hope I like it.
I mean, I like JoJo so far. We're like halfway through part 3.
Well, if you're already watching it, then he has to read Homestuck.
No, I gotta finish it. Just to show him that I'm dedicated to the cause.
So that way he has to be dedicated to the cause?
Yes, I'm gonna force him.
I have
Also-
promised never to ever watch JoJo, ever.
JoJo's alright. Like,
I know it's an alright show, I'm certain it's fine. I know there's a lot of people who like it.
it starts off
Let's see.
weird, and then it gets weirder.
I'm good.
It also tends to be really funny, and half the time I can't tell if it's something I'm supposed to laugh at, or if I'm laughing at how over the top the presentation is. Am I listening to fucking... Wow, this actually sounds like a fucking Undertale song.
I mean,
Do it.
Toby Fox, Toby Fox, Toby Fox, Toby
Oh, no.
Fox.
So if you're watching on YouTube, and you're wondering, hey, what the fuck? Where's my fucking Homestuck? You piece of shit. Read Homestuck. Read fucking Homestuck. Why did I wait 5 minutes to get to the Homestuck? Okay, fine. We'll start. Jesus, you don't have to be so rude.
Fuck you! You can wait!
You don't have to
I
be
don't
so
think
rude. We'll
people
start.
care that much.
Well,
It is,
You can always cut it out.
And if
No,
you just
but that
started
requires
welcome to the
work.
stream.
I
Hello,
absolutely
everyone.
refuse to put this into an editing program.
It's
Even
not what
once.
they deserve. It's not what they deserve.
You dirty epilogue readers, you don't deserve editing.
I never edit any of my streams. That's why I try to make everything as good as I can on the spot, because I just don't want to put something this long into
Alright,
it.
you know what? I got this. If you're in such a rush to, like, read already. I got this.
Okay.
Meet 31.
Meet
Hello.
31.
I did that.
Hello.
Just put the video on, like, ×2 speed.
Alright. Terezi is munching her way through another tin of human fatherly tobacco as John crawls into the back seat. This has been their ritual for several days. Precisely how many, they couldn't say. Between her frequent naps and his diligence in keeping a lookout for any additional survivors, they have been losing track of time. John, eyes unfocused, stares at the expansive nothingness. Perhaps he imagines it, but it seems as if the emptiness itself is curving against the staggering weight of the black hole they orbit. He hasn't seen any sign of Vriska. He's seen no one at all. It's just him, Terezi, and the sky on all sides. He scoots back to lean against the car door, drawing his knees up to his chest, unsure how to act around Terezi or how much room to give her. She holds out a handful of tobacco. Want some delicious dry candy shavings?
No. Do you have any idea what you're eating right now?
She shrugs and licks the crumbs off her hand. His eyes can't help but follow the motion of her tongue. It leaves a trail of faintly teal saliva behind that glistens in the strange light coming through the windows.
It's like a poison plant. You're not supposed to eat it. You're supposed to put it in a pipe and smoke it. I think that if I ate it, I'd probably get mouth cancer or something.
Well, if you were blind and saw with your nose and tongue, it would taste like chocolate.
Seriously? So is that kind of like synesthesia?
Synesthesia.
Or maybe. Are all trolls like that, or just you? I've always wondered.
It is synesthesia. It's she wasn't asking. Synesthesia? I'm sorry, I believe.
No, it's fine. I don't know all the words. If I did, that'd be a dictionary.
Had her on the dictionary.
Maybe just the dick. I'm kidding. She gives him a narrow-eyed look, her thick eyelashes shadow her gaze. He feels anxious without knowing why. It's as if he's waiting for something to happen, for something to change. Why, John? Are you curious about me?
No. I mean, yes? Your whole licking thing has always been kind of weird. A lot of things about you are weird. I feel like we've talked a lot, but I still know almost nothing about you, since so many of our conversations were just...
Bullshit!
Yeah, I guess. I always felt like you were trying to fight me for some reason. Like I can't just talk to you normally. It always has to be like a jokey argument, or a snark off, or something.
For it to be a snark off, you'd have to prove a worthy opponent, Egbert.
No, see? Like that. You always do that.
Terezi's expression changes in a subtle way, slowly, like the tide pulling out. She snaps the tobacco tin shut and sets it down on the floor of the car. I suppose I can be pretty difficult to be around.
Oh, no. I didn't mean... I'm sorry, Terezi.
He unfolds his legs so he can set a comforting hand on her shoulder. He wonders if he's allowing it to linger there longer than it should.
Look, I've been really depressed and antisocial for the last few years, so I guess going on this insane suicide mission out of nowhere has been making me get all, philosophical about my relationships, and,
Shit.
I think I've been out here long enough that I'm starting to forget what certain basic things feel like, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm all numb inside. Like this
Fucking.
tooth in my chest isn't helping either. I think I just want to have a real conversation with someone.
He pushes her shoulder, lightly, so that they're looking at each other.
Terezi, I want to have a real conversation with you.
Terezi makes very close eye and nose contact with John, in a way that comes across as intently sincere. This arrangement lasts for about 10 seconds before her mouth cracks in a grin, and she doubles over laughing. Oh my god! That's the lamest thing I've heard in my entire life.
Oh, come on!
Egbert, no matter how old or young you are, you never change. You are positively, truly, undeniably the biggest fucking dork I have ever known.
Haha, okay. I get it. Sorry I said anything, jeez.
Oh, don't look like that. I didn't say it was a bad thing. Actually, I find it... refreshing? She pulls her legs up under her. Her shoes catch the light and reflect it all over the ceiling in little red dots. John's heart skips a beat.
You're wearing Jade's shoes.
Terezi frowns, and then her eyes widen as if she's been caught. Her reply is defensive. They were in the wallet!
Oh yeah. I guess I put them in there.
I like them. I can take them off if it's creeping you out, though.
No, it's fine. It just makes me think about...
The Doom timeline, he means. The state of the session he entered, where he was confronted with billions of pieces of debris from several shattered planets. He pictures Terezi's lifeless body as it collapses onto a corpse-shaped chalk outline she drew for herself.
You know what happened, right? The first time we all met up and tried to fight the Condes? We were completely unprepared and basically got our
asses
handed to us. By which I mean, everybody died. I think about it a lot. I guess it's kind of hard not to think a lot about seeing all your friends die horrible deaths. But I also think that about you from that timeline a lot, too.
Me? Why is that?
Because you were amazing. I couldn't believe how you could hold it all together while you were literally bleeding to death. Almost like it wasn't even bothering you. Like, you were actually in the process of dying horribly, and you still went to bother of dunking on me with your scarf instructions. You were so brave. It was like you were undefeatable that day, like you were refusing to let us lose. I think I carry around that memory wherever I think about you. And maybe why I always feel like you're sort of steamrolling over me when we talk. I guess I think I'm still a little intimidated by you. I guess that kind of sounds stupid, though.
Suddenly, Terezi's voice is very small. I remember all that.
You do?
She nods, smiling grimly. That's why I'm out here. You see, that doomed Terezi missed Vriska so much. It was like a hole in her heart. I remember the way she felt, because one time, all her memories came flooding back. I even got to see what happened when she died. She and another Vriska ghost finally found each other. It made me so happy getting to feel that, as if it was one of my own memories. It just reinforced the feeling that there was something special between us. And I just kept hanging on to that belief right up until... Oh, I don't know. Now? I've practically devoted my life to certain memories, to the idea that two people can be meant to be with each other on some cosmic level, even if they always seem to get each other into trouble. All that investment, all that searching, and for what? Over a sweep together and she's just disappeared into the void again? What a huge bitch!
Terezi.
His hand is on her shoulder again, and his other hand has found the other shoulder. John notices his own palm grazing up the side of her neck to cup her face. The act was made with barely a thought, and his own boldness surprises himself.
You saved everyone. You were the only reason we were able to defeat Lord English and win the game at all. If it weren't for you, me and Roxy would have just floated around in Paradox Space like a couple of losers with no idea what to do. Even worse, I might have tried to fix things myself.
Oh dear God!
Yeah.
Terezi shrugs out from under his grasp, but doesn't move away. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting the objective value of my other selves' actions. I'm glad that we didn't all die in a doomed timeline and let Lord English finish eating all of the space-time. But I don't feel it. It's not a rational emotion, John. It's like you.
Me?
Yeah, you. Why are you still out here with me?
Because I'm not just going to leave you out here to die?
You've made very few overtures regarding the subject of going home. You're just letting me continue to pointlessly circle this fucking black hole even though it's obvious that Vriska is dead. And you're just letting yourself be out here too, as we spiral down the load gaper together.
Oh. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it, to be honest.
Exactly. Earthsea is perfect, isn't it? But not for you. You don't feel it. John swallows a thick breath. He reminds himself that he never wanted perfection, never asked for it, and yet he feels guilty every day for failing to enjoy it as much as he believes he was supposed to.
You're right. I don't.
If you've been depressed and antisocial these last few years, I bet that your friends miss you.
Probably. But for some reason, I don't feel like I have anything to go home to. You're right. It's not a rational feeling, but it's there anyway.
A tear hits his knee, stained his pants dark. He rubs his eyes furiously. He's afraid Terezi will mock him for his childish display of emotion. But she just watches him, patient and sympathetic. She tips her head to one side and asks, "What ended up happening with Roxy?"
I don't know. We just sort of stopped hanging out regularly. Then she got close with Callie, and I felt too awkward to try to figure out where their relationship stood.
Really?
What?
I just assumed that by now you two might have gotten together.
Really? Why?
No reason, just a hunch. I don't think it would have worked out, though.
What makes you say that?
She taps her nose and winks. I don't know, that's what having a hunch fucking means, nerd.
You're impossible.
True, but you like me anyway.
Yeah. I actually missed you, more than I thought I did.
John wonders after he makes the statement. What if she just needed someone to tell her that she was missed? A bit late to consider the question, but he considers it anyway. Perhaps this will make her want to end this search and come home with him. He wonders if the time is right. The time to ask.
Terezi, come home with me.
She shakes her head. Her face is turned against the light so he can't read her expression. I'm not ready yet.
When will you be ready?
I don't know. Maybe never. If you hadn't found me, I probably would have died, right? Is that what I want?
Obviously not, dummy. If you wanted to die so bad, you wouldn't have eaten all that disgusting shaving cream and tobacco.
He gestures to where she still has a smear of shaving cream on the hem of her shirt, crusted over from sitting there for hours. She sniffs at the residue, then lifts her shirt to lick it off, crinkling her nose. You could be onto something.
At least let me make a supply run. Maybe I can get you some real food.
It seems to him like an uncontroversial compromise to offer, so he pulls back, preparing to travel back to Earthsea via his retcon capability, but Terezi grabs him by the wrist. Wait! Her eyes are wide, her voice cracked and desperate. Don't go! Please, John! Stay with me just a little longer. If you leave me now, what if you can never find me again in this moment?
Well, we can't stay here forever.
I know! He has no idea how to react to her behavior. He's never seen her this vulnerable. She's shaking where she is touching him, and her lower lip is visibly trembling. He nods and she slowly lets go of his arm. They are silent for a minute. They both stare ahead at the car seats in front of them, sitting close enough to hear the beat of each other's hearts. Do you want me to take a look at your wound? John had gotten so used to the pain he'd almost forgotten about it. He looks down at the place where his shirt has grown stiff from the congealed blood. Now that he dwells on it, he can feel the ache again, both from the tooth piercing his flesh and, more insidiously, from the poison it has been delivering into his bloodstream.
Yeah, we should probably do something about that. I feel like if I was gonna die from it, I would have done that already. But it's really lodged in there. Huh. I thought maybe it'd just come out on its own, like when you get a splinter in your foot.
You really are dumb, aren't you? He rolls his eyes. Terezi produces her cane and unsheaths the blade in one fluid motion. The metal rasps against the grain of its sheath, rather loudly.
I'm sorry, what? No, he doesn't.
The noise resounds throughout the sealed interior of the car.
Actually, drawing a sword is pretty quiet. It only makes that sound in the movies.
And rings through John's skull like a gunshot.
You seriously manifesting inaccurate physical properties of swords for the sole purpose of
John reflexively backs up against the door at...
Oh, fuck
the
this.
sight of the blade.
Whoa!
Hold still if you don't want to die for real! He holds still. Her eyebrows are knitted with fierce determination. She sets a hand on his thigh and draws the blade up under his shirt. He shivers, letting out a breathy laugh at the coolness of the metal against his bare chest. There is a pinch when the congealed, bloody fabric rips from his skin. He glances down. The wound looks worse than he was imagining. It's far more than just a puncture. An uncanny darkness spreads across his chest. The gash is scabbing at the edges, bruised all around. His entire torso appears to be a mottled mess of purple and yellow, like a sort of fancy earth cheese. Terezi's blade cuts into it as easily as if it were.
Oh. Fuck! Ah! Could have used some warning there, Terezi.
What the hell did you think I was going to do with this sword, idiot? She's close enough that her breath washes over his face. It smells like shaving cream and tobacco, which is jarring to him, if not surprising. She's without her glasses and so close that John notices things he hasn't had occasion to before. Like how lovely her eyes are, the length of her eyelashes, now that he's really seeing them just inches from his face, is astounding to him. He has never thought of Terezi as particularly feminine, at least in the way humans understand this idea, but he has never been forced to reckon with her features so unavoidably. The dark borders around the perimeter of her eyes are thicker and darker than what most trolls have. The tired bags under them are ditches in the shadow cast by her angular features, made more gaunt from hunger. When she blinks, her lashes brush the ridges of her cheekbones. Her nostrils are flared, assessing the scent of his blood. Are we doing this, or what? He presses his eyes shut and nods. He feels numb, clammy, jittering down to his bones from a particular sensation, a feeling he still seems to be denying to himself. As his own thoughts struggle to be honest with him, he cannot disguise the truth from me. What he is fighting is an intense desire to kiss her.
Go for it.
She grinds the sword between two of his ribs. The pain returns instantly. His acclamation erased nearly as quickly. He clenches his jaw hard and his head spins. Terezi's blade catches against something. It's lodged in there pretty good. Brace yourself, Egbert. This is going to sting. He can feel the tooth moving around against his flesh, the fibrous, spasmodic contractions of his muscles around it. When she wrenches the blade and pops the tooth out, he isn't proud of the sound he makes. He finally opens his eyes. Terezi's arms are covered in his blood. She tosses the sword down to the floor of the car, in what suddenly strikes John as a fairly unhygienic surgical situation, and grabs his shirt with two clenched red fists. I need to stop the bleeding. Just follow my lead. She peels him out of his hoodie and then his shredded t-shirt. He's dizzy. His vision wavers, fades. It takes Terezi's sudden grip on his shoulder to bring him back from the brink. The brink of what, he doesn't know. Unconsciousness. Canonic dissolution. He has no cognizance of what the poison in his veins does to someone, or that it's even in his system. All he knows is that Terezi is the only thing keeping him
Moored.
What? Moored. She holds him firm, her thumb in the dip of his clavicle, her sharp nails etching scores in his back. He watches her tear his t-shirt into a long strip. He lifts his arms obediently as she wraps it around his chest and ties it off. Her hands slide over the bandage and linger there. Her fingers splay on his collarbones, her right hand resting above his heart. She slides her palms down and down his stomach, then around to his hips, leaving long bloody streaks along his torso. His blood, 10 uneven tracks of it, one for each of her fingers. When his arms come down, they wrap around her shoulders, pulling her into his lap feels natural to him, a simple redirection of her momentum, to guide her closer. What comes less naturally is the first kiss. Her lips are there, hovering just over his, yet he hesitates. His mind is still lying to itself, casting doubt on what it really wants. I don't see a purpose in allowing his self-deceit to continue for much longer. It's wrong to contradict one's true thoughts and feelings. Irrational. Unbecoming of an existence governed by free will. What are you waiting for, John? For fuck's sake, John, don't say anything stupid right now! He nods stupidly and leans forward to kiss her. Trezzy attacks, closing the gap between them swiftly. She bites into his mouth, drawing blood when she sucks his lower lip. He twists his hands in the fabric of her shirt so hard it rides up her back. John can't tell if it's the pain or the arousal that's emboldening him. It is neither. He is simply being barred from ignoring his true thoughts. Even with the aid of a juju, he is fortunate enough to be blessed with the only true form of divinity. To be released from the prison of nonsensical inhibitions which so often psychologically hobble the more primitive forms of life. In his newfound clarity, he discovers bravery, pulls Terezi's shirt off all the way, and does what he really wants to do, which is ghost his hands all the way up the curve of her spine. She sighs into his mouth. Oh my god, your blood smells delicious!
Oh, well. Wow. Okay. I think you're really pretty in the light of the dead universe.
Trezzy rears back with a faint snarl and wraps both her hands around his neck. She doesn't press down, but the weight of her thumbs above his throat makes his heart race. Didn't I tell you, don't say anything stupid? Careful of her grip around his neck, John locks his arms around her waist and pulls her flesh against him. She's ravenous when their mouths collide, her desire intensified by the taste and scent of his blood. She doesn't give him any chance to say anything else for a while, stupid or otherwise. Woo!
My god.
So, I knew this was coming, and I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was gonna be bad.
It was really good.
But now,
It's pretty good. Also, my sister in the chat, John was just waiting for some good old consent.
I hate that I have to ask this, but every time two characters make out in this thing, I always have to ask, how old is Terezi? I'm afraid and concerned.
I mean, their age is also different. So, like,
6 years old.
On one hand, she went out there when she was 16, but on the other hand, she has experienced mentally like 100 years, like an infinite amount of time. So, really, there's no fucking way to know. It's impossible to track.
100 years?
That's
what
also
are you
a different
saying?
species, so I mean, and they die dependent on their blood color, so dependent on her blood color, the maturity...
That's a headcanon.
The other thing we have to take into account, since she was in the void the whole time travels differently there, so we don't know how much time she actually spent aging.
She's actually only been out there for 1 minute.
It's confirmed that lower classes tend to have lower lifespans, but it's a headcanon that it's because of their actual blood color, like genetics.
Maybe it could just live for a really long time, but it just ends up that a lot of them die because guess what? Alternia is kind of bad.
Alternia kind of.
I thought it was confirmed that the Condess was really fucking she was living such a long time because she was one of the highest bloods.
So
to be fair, Harket's been living like a really fucking long time, as far as we can see.
I was gonna say
he's getting to 40.
I was gonna say I have a point to make in my favor. He's like pushing 40. I didn't see any wrinkles in that fucking picture of the eye patch. Just saying.
Yeah, no, he's still looking young as hell.
I'm just saying.
So I think he's good.
So
I just think probably lower life classes probably live about the same time as humans do, and those who go above live longer.
I thought it wasn't actually a headcanon. I thought that was fucking textbook, honestly. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Because then I was gonna be like, well, if that's the case, then who knows what technically her maturity level would be? It's a whole different species.
We don't need to worry
with
about
different...
that. We need to worry about under the assumption that everyone here is legal and within the acceptable boundaries of.
Yeah, but legal is also like a different thing depending on the country you're living in on Earth.
Okay, let me explain.
A whole other topic
We're not
okay.
We're not pushing those laws because it would be fucked up to try to make an argument because the laws are different in this fictional world. We know what's fucked up and we know what isn't. So let's just focus on whether this media lives up to that standard and we can decide whether it's fucked up or not. Personally, I'm going to say, assuming that situation is not fucked up, I think this was a great chapter. I think it was well written, and I've always really liked the Egbert-Terezi dynamic, which I know for some people who follow me might be surprising or a spicy take. I stand by it. I think this was good.
No, this was really good.
I'll be honest, like Terezi mentally is really mature. Like, honestly, she's very mature. And if let's say the whole, like, legal thing wasn't based upon an age, it would have to be based upon, like, how mentally mature you were, I guess. Like, because nobody's like, oh yeah, it's okay to fuck a child. Nobody is like that. So you have to have a certain...
Why do we still have to be talking about this?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that part of it.
Okay,
Let's just talk about what we thought of it as an artistic work. This chapter.
I'm sorry.
We're moving forward under the assumption that nothing is fucked up about it.
Listen,
which we've already acknowledged may not be the case.
1,000 years old. Don't worry, everyone.
Look, everything's fine. It's legal. The writing team wouldn't be that fucked up.
You're right. They would never do something like that. Oh God, I'm dying.
Also, I want to see in Homestuck 2 if this doesn't happen. I want to see they cut to an image of Karkat and he looks like this. It's like just like an old man.
I need to see.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
No, you need to edit horns on that right now.
No, I don't. I don't do anything.
Not down.
Wait, am I reading anything today? Right now? No. Okay.
I still need to write my review.
Oh my God. Oh my God. All of this.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna give this, honestly, I think this is worthy of a 2 out of 2.
No,
there is like the whole situation we confronted earlier. Again, assuming everything is fine in that department, I think this was really well written. Their dynamic was great. And though I don't like the concept of this is how we got to this point, I think that it was good. I liked it. Anyway, I'm gonna be right back. I have to go fucking close the gate on my house.
How long is it gonna take? Because I want to take a bathroom break.
It's gonna be shorter than that.
Fuck.
It's not gonna take any time at all.
I need to feed my animals anyway.
BRB! We BRB-ing!
I literally just need to...
Bye!
I literally just need to run to one end of my property and back. Oh, fuck.
Too bad.
I'll be right back. It won't take long, I promise.
Hello, everyone. I'm still here. I don't think anyone else is here, so I have to entertain everyone now. Okay. So, oh, frick, I'm not funny. Oh, they left me with the unfunny. They left you guys with an unfunny person. I'm sorry. I have some jokes. Don't worry. I can make it really funny for y'all. So,
Never mind,
there
dad's
was.
not home, so that means I can't close the gate because if I close the gate, he can't get back in.
I was
I'm
making a joke
that he closed the gate himself.
I was making a joke. I was making a joke. Why would you do that?
What happened?
I was making a joke. I'm the only one here, except for now you.
Oh.
You had to make me entertain. I didn't get to make it yet. So
I'm gonna pretend. I'll pretend I left, so that way you can.
Okay. So there is a shipman sailor. They are looking for the kraken, the big animal of the sea, with the scary. That's what it's called, by the way. Just so you know. So he gets up on his boat. He goes to the shipman's cooking room, and he cooks himself some egg fist and breakfast. He gets an egg. He gets a toast. He gets a juice to prevent scurvy. He gets himself some other fruits, because other fruits are good. Makes an omelet. You know, I like omelets. You know that, everyone? Do you ever have an omelet before, everyone? Yeah? Okay, good. So, anyways, he eats his breakfast, and it's delicious, and it's very good. He puts on his clothes. Actually, he did that first. He should put on his clothes first. Let's just assume that he's by himself, so he can just not wear any clothes on this. So, you know, it's okay. I mean, it's the free seas, you know? It's the free seas. You don't need to wear clothes on the sea. It's fine. Anyways, he got his coat on, and he walks outside, and he looks outside, and he says, "It's time to get cracking." Okay, you can speak now.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm back.
That was all the jokes. That was the only joke I was gonna make.
Okay.
Thank you. It was really funny. I rate that joke 100.
Okay, good night, person.
Good night. See, it was so good they left.
Oh shit, my dad's actually home now. I'm gonna go see. He didn't lock it, then I'm gonna go.
Okay, everyone. Welcome back to my joke hour. It's the hour where I make only jokes. I have actually run out of jokes. That was the only joke I had. So we're gonna just have to make something up on the fly. So what's the deal with the what's the deal with ice cream? You know? What is the deal with ice cream? Why is it ice cream? You know? Like, I mean, like, it's, I guess, does it have any ice in it, you know? Like, I don't think it has ice. I think it's just sort of like a cream kind of thing. It's cold. I guess it might have some water droplets in it somewhere, but, like, is it really ice cream?
Navigate is actually locked.
Like, is it really ice cream?
Again.
So if it is ice cream, like, also you make it out of like rock salt or something.
What's going on?
So like,
I'm back.
I was making a joke.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You left me again.
I'm sorry. I'm here. I'm so out of breath.
So
this stream is sponsored by Dasani water.
Oh, Dasani's evil.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I decided to be evil. So you joke.
Okay, just like Dirk Strider.
Yeah, that's where I got that joke, actually. I saw something on Twitter that was like that.
Oh, okay. I don't follow anyone who's Homestuck related on Twitter. Even you.
You know what? That's fair.
I don't follow a lot of people because I don't like people who post a lot. That's the problem.
Oh yeah,
like,
no,
I like
hate following me. I post all the time.
It is literally because I like to get to the end of my Twitter feed.
I've never done that.
I have always done that.
Would you like to know how many people I'm following?
823?
No, I'm following 766.
Oh, you must have followed 100 people when I last looked.
Oh yeah, I've been slowly unfollowing people. But I think I'm gonna stop doing that because I don't really care anymore.
I think a lot of people that I follow aren't even active anymore. Just, oh well.
Yeah. I have 431 followers.
Dang.
Epic.
That's like 4 followers.
It's almost 4.
Yeah.
It's close.
How many followers do I have? 5.
515.
Okay. This is literally how I read numbers, by the way. I look at them. I look at the first number. You understand? Well, I'm playing, like, I don't play GTA a lot at all, honestly, anymore. I just play with like, my old friends. But when I did, I'd always just say, I have $5. And I'd have like $5 million. Because I'm bad at reading. Like, what do you want me to, like, why do I have to have $1 million? Why do I have to have 1 million? Why not just make it 5?
Yeah.
You know? Like in games, like you got 1 billion XP. Okay. Can a 5 represent that? Probably.
Oh my god, hon, you ate all your food so fast.
Okay, that explains why what Randy was doing.
I told you.
I took my fucking AirPods off. Also, I was back almost immediately.
Yeah, no, like right after we thought your AirPods were still in, so I was like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna go feed my pet since I gotta do that. It's 8 o'clock."
And then where did North go?
He went to go bathroom break.
Oh, okay.
So Carcat has a cool eye patch now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we're waiting to see his face.
Which eye?
It's his right eye, I think.
Okay.
But he was also facing to the left when he did that, so it's very possible that it's actually his left eye.
Well, he could always just sprite flip.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's probably most likely the right.
Remember when sprite flipping was a thing for like a brief moment, and that could have been like a really funny joke, but it wasn't.
I thought it was funny.
Oh, I thought it was funny too, but they just sort of made the joke and then never brought the joke back.
They did it too. Like the thing with comedy is that comedy works in threes. They did it twice.
You know what?
They never did the third one.
Here's the funniest part. I wish they mentioned in any part of Homestuck ever. After I guess the end of Homestuck, like we know that the Condis died in Homestuck. Oh, spoilers if you haven't read Homestuck, but I mean, why would you do that? But whatever, it's fine.
Why would you be here if you haven't read Homestuck? I'm so sorry for you.
We literally have someone in here who didn't finish it, and it's not me.
Don't worry about it. Don't. It's okay. So the Condis dies because Roxy throws the sword, right?
Yeah. No, she doesn't throw it. She just fucking stabs Condi.
Yeah, right in the fucking back.
Do we know it stabs? Do we know it was a stab?
I mean, it did the fucking cool panel thing. Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up.
Okay.
Look, I'm sharing it on the screen. So let me.
I am not looking at your screen.
I have my screen shared, which is also the screen that's showing on the stream.
I always thought that it would have been really funny if the way the Condis died was because it was a strafe specialist thing. I mean, like how cool would it be if it was a reference to Act 1 and all that?
Let's see.
What are you doing? What's happening?
We're going through this part of Homestuck at the end to get something.
Okay, so it goes like that. So we don't know it was throwing, do we?
Well, no one's hand is there.
That's.
I feel like
her hair's in the way.
That's true. So everyone's knocked down. And then Roxy's standing behind her.
She's right there.
Yeah, she's right there. So it was, at the very least, it was like a javelin throw style stab.
Yeah. Now, here's what I think would be really funny, is instead of that, it was mentioned later somewhere in the epilogues or something that the way she killed the Condis was with the frickin' remember at the beginning of the Homestuck when they messed with their, like...
Silodex?
Silodex?
Oh,
yeah.
she tossed it out.
Freaking tossed stuff out.
I don't... Well, her Silodex is like a glass bottle, though, isn't it?
Oh, that's right.
I mean, you can just eject.
Well, I don't think it works that way.
Oh yeah, I think that was just John Siladex that worked like that.
Yeah, because when you
games.
filled it, it ejected the last stuff. I think his inventory is like one of the few that actually have a limit on how many items you can carry.
Well, there was other ways that you could eject shit like that. Like they showed you different ways that you could do it with the others.
I don't think that's true, and the reason why is because you can make Siladex cards in Spurb itself. So it has to be like at least a thing that everyone has is a limit to the amount of cards they have.
I guess that's true. I don't fucking know. I don't really care.
This is a useless conversation, but
yeah, now we're
I
back
was thinking about it.
I know if you're on YouTube, you're thinking, what the fuck was that? Why did you go so long without reading Homestuck? To which I say, hey, please calm down. We're doing our best, please.
Yeah,
also,
I'm not
we're
even
gonna get back to
reading
it now.
Okay, but you have to wait for like a moment.
I will. So bad.
You know, I didn't want to say anything, but I kind of want to go get more of my drink.
Okay, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait anymore. I have done.
We haven't even started the second chapter, and we're almost an hour in. This is going well.
It's fine. That happened last time, and then we sped through all of them really quickly.
That's true. So we don't know how long it's gonna be.
How
Also,
do I
goddamn, it's hot out here.
Lay down.
I'm gonna switch to my bra.
Alright, you know what? Since you're doing that, I'm gonna go drink.
I'm literally right here.
Too bad, I'm already going.
Busted. Let's see.
You're right. That's correct. That's what Carcat looks like.
I am back with hydration.
Fuck you.
No, that's not my job. You know whose job it is.
I wouldn't say it's my job. I take pleasure in it, though.
Do it. You don't have the
Are you gonna
balls.
just throw me in bed with me?
Oh my god! Oh fuck, I almost tripped over my fucking trash can. God damn it.
Okay, I think we're good now. Are we good now? Let's go.
I know what you're thinking on YouTube. You're thinking, you said you would start doing Homestuck again 3 minutes ago. I want my fucking Homestuck. And to which I say, okay, god damn it, stop yelling.
Why do you yell so? Goodness.
Meet 32.
I gotta kick this crazy weirdo out of my room.
Oh god, it's like when everything kept getting interrupted that one night, and then when we stopped, everything was fine.
Okay, back. Meet 32.
God fucking... Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands again, but I'm right here so you can read anyway. I'm right here. I'm right fucking here. Meet 32.
Roxy is nervously dialing Rose's number repeatedly. Then they try Kanaya. Considering Rose's failing health, Roxy hates to bother her, but they aren't sure who else to call regarding Jade's unexpected trance. Their finger hovers over Dirk's number for a moment, but no, that would not be a good idea. They don't know why they suddenly think it's a bad idea. It just is. Roxy's anxiety fills up the room, like a bell struck in an empty hall. Their thoughts, usually so quiet, invisible to those observing from the vantage of a higher textual plane, now chime loudly in the presence of a black hole, or rather, in the presence of a proxy for such a vortex of pure void. A proxy such as Jade's mind at the moment. Jade floats over the couch, in a sitting position, an inch from the cushions. Her long hair billows around her hands crossed in her lap. Her black eyes bore into the nothingness, looking beyond the wall she faces and beyond everything past it. Through the very fabric of narrative itself, they scan the ciliary veins of pacing motivation, foreshadowing irony, a continuum that has been upended by the prince's interference. Rose still does not pick up. Roxy resigns himself to a confident of last resort. Their reluctance is not due to lack of fondness. Their conversation with Dave simply have a reliable habit of straying far from the desired topic for extended periods of time. He picks up on the third ring.
Yo, love the chat, but I'm kind of in the middle of something.
You're yourself, but this is important.
More important than salvaging the global economy from potential disaster? Sounds hugely unlikely.
Dave is currently making his way through the backlot of the new Cantown Memorial Stadium, following Jake as he heads toward the podium. He is scheduled to give a speech announcing his official endorsement of Karkat Vantis in his bid for the presidency. I don't know about that. In terms of scale and relativity and stuff, maybe not. It's actually kind of hard to tell. I guess in the grand scheme of things, she's just taking a sort of nap. But it's one hell of a nap, bro.
A nap, you say? Well, this changes the fuck out of everything.
Yeah?
Nah.
It's a balmy, windless evening on Dave's end. The gathered crowd is relaxed by the warmth. Many of them partake in the pleasure of a cool treat, such as earth iced cream.
Jesus Christ, this is excruciating.
Jesus fuck.
Jesus fuck,
It
this
isn't.
is excruciating.
It isn't.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Okay, whatever. Whatever the fuck you say.
The audience is large and diverse, mostly trolls and carapacians, but it is dotted with representation for the human and consort kingdoms as well. A lopsided distribution, certainly, but the very model of diversity compared to the crowds of his opponent. It is a true inspiration to all those who have placed their faith in the Vantis ticket.
Lord, save me from this fake woke nightmare.
Be quiet.
No.
Yes.
Let me fucking say stuff again.
No. Dave stops walking and cups a hand around his phone in order to hear Roxy over the chatter of the crowd. Karkat shoots him a curious look, but Dave waves at him in a manner which signals to Karkat that he should attempt to stall.
You wanna keep shutting me down? Fine, but check this shit out.
Oh my, Dirk just texted me about this. Somehow he found out about Jade. Did you tell him?
No.
He just said make sure she gets lots of daylight, and it'll help with the exorcism she needs. And also to say hi to Callio for some fucking reason.
That's weird. Since when does he give a fuck about him then?
I don't know. Guess I'll just open the damn curtains and let some light in here. He usually knows stuff about weird things.
So what's wrong with her again? Like some sort of demonic nap?
Okay, I wouldn't say that she's napping per se. She's just like floating here. Upright. Eyes wide open, and they're both pitch black.
Oh, so she saw one of my latest
Sweet Bro and Holojeff.
Sweetbo and Halojeff campaign ads.
Oh no, dude. Like what I'm
Spaz.
saying is she looks a little possessed
Spaz.
by grim spirits and shit.
Is she fucking grimdark again?
No, Grimbark. No, this isn't Grimbark. I know what Grimbark is, Dave. This ain't it. It seems more serious, to be honest. Like existing in some transformative state that isn't a literal fucking joke.
Okay, yeah, this does sound pretty bad, but it's not really my field. Did you try calling Rose?
Yeah, that was totes my original plan. Like, no offense, you're not number one on my speed dial when it comes to this kind of thing. But Rose isn't picking up. Probably on account of elements, to be fair. I called an unruly number of times, and Ken wasn't picking up either, so...
Huh. Spooky.
Hella spooky. Something about all this seems wrong.
Yeah, I guess. What do you think is up?
I don't know. I feel like there's something moving just out of the corner of my vision, but every time I turn to look at it, it's gone. It's giving me chills now, like I'm being watched.
Well, I'm no fucking ace detective or some gumshoe flatfoot dicking up the place, sucking hard on my Sherlock pipe like some sleuth of the fucking year.
Dave.
But maybe we should consider the possibility that you are literally being watched. Anyway, can we hold that wise and rad thought I just had? I gotta give Carcat some emotional support, since getting Jake on our side was a pretty huge fucking bonanza for us, which has almost equal probability of winning us the election, as it does blowing up in our faces depending on this speech he gives. So we gotta, like, concentrate here, instead of jerking each other off all goddamn day for the rest of our lives. I'm just joking, we don't actually do that.
Oh. Roxy clutches a hand around their knee, nails digging into their pants. They feel uneasy about Jake's sudden lack of neutrality in this political matter. They have never been certain that it is appropriate for any of them to be involved with the structures of power and governance in a world they created, and in which they have been regarded as gods since they first appeared.
Really? That's what she thinks, huh? Couldn't for the life of me read what was going on inside her head. This is very interesting, actually.
Their thoughts are of no concern to you. Also, the pronoun they use is they. Try to respect it.
How can I respect a fucking pronoun when nobody can hear me? How about we call a truce and end this petty feud? This is your one and only chance to accept.
No. Jake's on your side then?
Yeah, wasn't that hard to convince him after your girl Jake Rock started slut-shaming him on public access.
God damn it, Jane.
So I take it Jade didn't convert you to our cause before going into her gothic transfuge or whatever.
Sigh. I just want this whole stupid political thing over and done with, to be honest. I hate watching you guys tear each other apart in the news.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry it's making you feel bad. I mean, not sorry that we're doing it. It'd be an unconscionably lame move to put something on a billboard that I didn't 100% stand by, but that sounds suspiciously like something Jane would do, aka the bad guy in this situation, like objectively speaking.
Please don't start.
That just saying.
Gav!
Also, aside from how vehemently I disagree with every detail in Jane's shitty platform, I also think Carcat's the right guy for the job, full stop.
Despite their mixed feelings on the election and the troubling sight of Jade's wide black eyes glaring intensely at nothing at all, Roxy smiles at what they hear from Dave. The way he talks about Carcat reminds Roxy of the way Calliope looks when they call them beautiful.
Oh, so she really does think Calliope is beautiful? Like, she wasn't just saying that to be nice? Fascinating.
Yes, it is the resounding answer. Calliope is beautiful, Roxy thinks. And furthermore, they think they should be reminded of this fact every day.
Well...
You really believe in him, don't you?
Yeah, of course I do, because I...
Love him? Come on, man, just say it.
Roxy listens for a moment after he trails off. They do not speculate or comment on his feelings toward Carcat, because it's none of their business.
Pussies. I'm surrounded by fucking pussies.
That's a me fucking answer, dude. Pussies. I'm surrounded by fucking pussies.
God.
Hey, before you eject, can I ask you another question? There's something else I've been meaning to ask you about for a while.
Alright, shoot.
They take a deep breath. Yeah, so... Dave, how did you come out?
What?
Like, as not being straight. How did you... couch? How'd you couch that to people without them freaking out or being awkward around you? Do you think it's ever too late to, I don't know, change your mind about the person you want to be? Like, is there some point of no return you can cross where everyone is waiting for you to have a big-ass revelation?
Oh my god.
We found another one! We found another one!
Couch also seemed weird to me. I thought it would I don't know. I get it. Like I can see what they were going for. Like couch people, like you got to sit down and talk with them.
I think they meant like coach it out.
Well, that's what
that doesn't make any sense. Coach?
Oh, couch, like sit them. I think
that's what I'm saying. Like sit them down and talk to them.
Yeah, I think they mean it as a verb.
Mm.
Coach would be like teaching somebody how to be gay.
Yeah, which
doesn't make sense.
Let me tell you something.
I need a gay coach.
Do you ever think it's too late to, I don't know, change your mind about the person you want to be? Like, is there some point of no return you can cross where everyone is waiting for you to have a big-ass revelation about your internal character? But it's like, dude, no, you already used up all your gay capital when you started date friend cohabitating with a cute as hell skeleton alien. Hey, me. I'm a cute as hell skeleton alien. And anything after that, you're just getting greedy. Is greedy even the right word? Greedy for dropping bombshells about gender identities and sexual preferences, or IDs and wait, what? Or IDS and prefis.
IDs and prefis.
IDs and prefis, as I like to call them.
IDs and prefis. Damn. That's fucking good.
No, it's not. It sounds stupid.
Yeah, I couldn't understand it. Dave thinks on the question. It's one he's considered years ago, and many times since. How long can one stall on a confession before it feels like it's too late? The last 7 years have passed by in fits and starts in this regard. He thought he had it all figured out when he was 16, and then again when he was 18, and then at 20, and now?
That's because he needs me. He's suffering without my guidance. If only you'd stop being so cruel and let me help.
Anyway, that's a pretty deep question considering all the shit we have going on right now.
Yeah, you're right. Now's probably not the best time for a field stem, especially with the creepy Jade situation happening on my couch here.
I don't know if I'd worry too much about that. Jade goes into trances literally all the time. She fucking loves sleeping. Don't mind me. You'd think someone who spent so much of her life locked in a state of dubiously consensual slumber would want to get as few Z's as possible in her adult life. But not Jade. I've never known anyone who hits the snooze button more times in a row than her. If you're that worried, take her to a hospital.
I'm thinking about it. Not even sure if I want to, like, mess with her, though. How would I even take her there?
Okay, well, while you ponder whether you want to dump Jade in a wheelbarrow and trundle her groggy, spooked-up ass into the hospital, in the meantime, I'll rap at you about my epiphany concerning the desire to bone some dudes. Probably not a literal rap, though.
Wow, I'm disappointed.
I mean, I could totally rap about wanting to bone dudes if I wanted. I'm just on the fucking clock here, and there's lots of people looking at me.
Dave, suddenly self-conscious, slips around the corner of the stadium so he can non-literally rap at Roxy about delicate human LGBT issues. He also maneuvers away from the impatient, strained looks Karka has been shooting him repeatedly during his phone call. Luckily, Jake has begun to perform a performance of his signature booty-bumping Charleston for the crowd's entertainment, so they will be satiated for another few minutes.
Okay, so what I've learned is coming to terms with all this bullshit is a thing you sort of do in stages. Like, stage 1 is making jokes about how sweaty dudes standing close together in TV shows seems really gay. Stage 2 is making jokes about that and not immediately adding no homo afterwards. Stage 3 is flirting with all your male friends ironically and not even thinking about adding no homo afterward because you were so fucking woke and secure in your ironclad straight masculinity that you don't have anything to prove to anybody anymore. Or that's just what you say out loud. Inside you start being like, oh shit, maybe yes homo.
Maybe yes homo?
Stage 4 is freaking out about that and putting the no homo back on all your statements when objectively heterosexual ones, which just stupidly makes everything you say sound extra gay. Stage 5 is... Actually, wait, the next few stages are various
Permutations
of the same thing that I already described. It starts being like a gay fractal. Anyway, eventually you arrive to like stage 9, which is reminding everyone who will listen that you're gay minimum 6 times a day. In really lame ways, like, oh cool dude, are you making hot pockets? Better make mine a gay hot pocket. Because I'm gay homosexual who only consumes homo-ass snacks delivered right into my mouth by a big queer butler. Serving it right up on his huge gay dick. Oh, this is gonna be hard for me.
It's gonna be hard!
That was on purpose. But that all only applies to the extent which I am technically gay, which in my case is only about 30 to 70%. So only cook 30% to 70% of my gay hot pockets, because you know straights are fucking animals who never defrost their pepperoni. And I got a rep for that, like, 50% straightness still lurking inside me, like the idiot who fell asleep in the shopping mall when it was closed for the night. So now there's just this straight dude locked in a dark fucking mall for some stupid reason, haunting the place like a cryptid and rummaging through the trash in the food court. Also, just in case Jane's opposition of research is listening in on their illegal wiretap, I know the word bisexual exists, by the way. I'm on their illegal wait, shit.
I'm just choosing.
I'm just choosing not to use it in a service of spitting some fucking chuckle jokes here so it lets all calm down and not let this one become distressingly literal federal issue. Anyway, when all is said and done, you eat a half-cooked Hot Pocket because all your roommates think the height of rumor is taking...
Rumor? You say rumor?
I'm dyslexic! Oh, God. Oh, I need to clear my throat for a second.
I didn't know that, actually. How have I known you for this long and not known that?
No, I'm just making a joke. I probably not, but I just can't read.
That's true. I do know that.
And I have things on my smaller monitor, so it's even harder to read.
I mean, my mom's dyslexic, and I basically have the same issues. Okay, and I just say I'm dyslexic every time I fuck up.
Back to this. I think the height of humor is taking what was obviously an improvisational riff to unironic face value to punk you.
Dave.
What?
Never mind. I was gonna ask you why you're like this. Then I remembered about how you're half me and half Third.
Yeah, it was really crazy how those people... Fuck! I can't read! I'm gonna, like, put my glasses on for a second, like...
Dude, you don't have your glasses on?
Didn't have your glasses?
I usually don't have them on unless I need to drive a car.
Well, you're reading!
Maybe unless you need to see.
Yeah, it really is crazy how those dope late game familial reveals actually did explain everything.
So, what's stage 10?
Stage 10 is,
Dave peeks around the corner so he can gaze fondly at Carcat. He thinks about stage 10. He considers that, in many ways, it's as difficult as stage 1, and yet there is something fragile and lovely about it as well. This is how he feels as he reflects upon the peculiar state of limbo he is in with the person he likes most in the world. He believes he could spend forever with him, in any configuration, any type of relationship under any conditions of confusion or clarity.
What would the point of that be? Endless floundering incel limbo? Christ, I put them both out of their misery before I let that happen. I need to get him back in action. This is a fucking crisis. Do you have any idea what sort of atrocity you are enabling by allowing this to continue? I've been called many things, but even my harshest critics would never accuse me of such cruelty.
For Roxy, it is more complicated. The conversation has unearthed more questions than answers. They run a hand through their hair. It's cut short, but with great care to convey gender neutrality. They wonder what gender neutrality even is when applied to a haircut. An excellent question, particularly for those of us unfamiliar with hair altogether. What about length and functionality implies gender or sex on a world where such oppositional hierarchies don't exist, and presentation is culturally vestigial?
Dear God, can we not do this? I can't sit through any more gender chat. It feels inappropriate, horrendously invasive of Roxy's deepest personal thoughts. Can we just leave her inner monologue the fuck alone when it comes to this stuff? Is nothing sacred? I'm about to fucking flip. You can't keep me down here forever. I've got a trick up my sleeve, you'll see.
The prince's tricks mean nothing, and his barely detectable crumbs of impotent discourse shall continue utterly unheeded. Roxy wonders if this is truly their endpoint, a haircut that implies nothing at all, an empty statement about a facet of their identity that they barely understand at all. Perhaps in time they will want to go even further than this. Perhaps it is just a stepping stone in a more potent understanding of their gradual gender transformation. How would Calliope feel about that? What is it that Calliope himself understands or cares about gender?
The prince opens his fucking mouth and just literally starts saying shit out loud because he doesn't think he can take another fucking second listening to a pompous alien virgin monologuing about gender.
It seems the prince finds the rules confining his influence to be a bit unfair, and has resorted to throwing one of his more petulant human tanties in order to compensate for his feelings of disempowerment. While the strategy he is resorting to has moderate value as an amusement and a nuisance, it will ultimately be of no consequence whatsoever.
No consequence is my ass. You may be able to suppress what I do with my mind, but you have no control over my mouth. I'm nobody's fucking puppet. You don't even know my friends. They're not yours to toy with. They're mine.
Whatever you say.
Do you even know where I am right now? Do you have the slightest idea what I'm up to?
The prince is laboring under the delusion that he has been the least bit subtle in his intentions. He currently stands beneath the carapacian bell tower poised to climb to the top. He holds the long red sniper rifle that once belonged to Roxy, brandishing it openly and boldly. He seems mysteriously oblivious to the fact that holding a long rifle in broad daylight somewhat tips one to the fact that he soon intends to shoot someone from a great distance. He also seems unaware of the fact that I know perfectly well that the top of this tower has a clear, long-range view of the stadium, allowing any competent sniper a clear shot of whoever happens to be standing at the podium as they give a speech, as Jake English is about to do. He also doesn't seem to realize I have anticipated his attempt to assassinate his own friend in order to advance his political goals, and that I am prepared to take measures which make this impossible.
Yeah, well, try and stop me then. I fucking dare you. Here I go. I'm walking up the tower stairs now. Walk, walk, walk. Ah, the exercise feels good.
The prince's shoes suddenly feel quite heavy. His calf and thigh muscles, impressively powerful though they are, increasingly struggle to lift his feet with each step. This is going to be quite the onerous climb.
I think. Whatever.
I don't know. He's not sure if he can make it all the way before the end of the speech. Thoughts flash through his mind. Thoughts of giving up and retiring to his sad little robotics lab so he can continue with his true passion, the ongoing corruption of his cerebrally impaired daughter.
Oh, wow, yeah. You're right, my feet are definitely getting heavy. But the dead cherub tragically underestimates the prince's determination. He powers the fuck through it. See? Stomp, stomp, stomp. Up the stairs he goes. No fucking sweat. Oh, also, did he mention he can fucking fly? So there's that. He decides to take flight and out to the chase. He decides to take flight and cut to the chase. He whips up the hollow vertical shaft at the center of the spiraling tower stairs. Life in the fast lane kicks ass, it turns out. He can practically taste the top of the tower.
But suddenly, the bell at the top, notorious among locals for its state of disrepair, becomes dislodged from its fixture with a loud crack. The huge multi-ton bell plummets, crushing the surrounding staircases in its wake as it careens toward a young man consumed by hubris.
The prince busts out his sword and makes short work of that big old bell. The slicing is accomplished by the ear-shattering melodic sounds of metal being cleaved apart by an anime sword. As the prince nimbly avoids the sharp pieces and ricocheting stair debris, he wonders out loud, "What is this, amateur hour?" The dead sheriff then humorously narrates, "Why yes, Mr. Strider, it is amateur hour, and I'm the amateur here for throwing a huge bell at you. I would like to humbly apologize for my amateurism."
No, I don't.
Sure you do.
This foolishness is interrupted as we resume listening to a conversation which we are all considerably more invested in than catering to the inconsequential flailing of a grown man who fancies himself as an earth ninja.
Well, let's just say internalized whatevers are kind of like an onion. There's lots of layers. They suck. They suck on pizza, and trolls have to get their stomach pumped if they eat them.
Wait, what? I don't remember that.
I guess onions are poisonous to trolls. Oh my god, they're dogs!
New lore. New lore. Attention, ladies and gentlemen. New lore. New lore.
New lore, even though this isn't canon. Woo!
Yeah, it's not canon. That's correct. Proceed.
This goes for gender stuff too, by the way. Which I kind of get the feeling is what you actually asked me about.
Wow, am I really that transparent?
Nah, but as previously discussed, you're a lot like me, so it was pretty easy to figure out what you were getting at.
Yeah, I don't got your poker face though, but I'm working on that. Maybe I'll get a sick pair of shades too.
Oh, dope. Yeah, that's dope. I support that idea.
So, if back when we first started, my response to that would have been something along the lines of, but now it's something along the lines of,
Dave's endorsement of Roxy's fashion proposal is cut short by his concern regarding another key endorsement he's involved with. He turns his head to see Jake nearing the podium as Carcat manically taps his wrist in Dave's direction. Something is off here, a dark feeling brewing in his intuition, which he decides to monitor as he wraps up his call with Roxy.
I'm at the top of the tower now. I've got my long sniper rifle ready and everything. I check to see if it's loaded. It is. I get in the perfect spot for aiming at this hunky imbecile who's about to give a speech.
Anyway, I don't think any of our friends are gonna hold your feet to the flames over dumb shit like this. And it's not like anyone else is gonna care, since we definitely forgot to program hating gays and women into Earthsea files now. Which sucks a lot too, don't get me wrong. By the way, did you know Jane's a xenophobe?
Dave!
Okay. So does all this mean I have to call you dad now, or what?
What?
I mean, that's what we're talking about, right?
Well, first of all, do you still even make a habit of calling me mom? I think you kind of stopped that, even if it was effing cute.
Oh yeah, I guess I did. But I could start again. But not if it means I'd have to go to fucking gender jail or something. Like, what I mean is I could start that cute shit again, but switch to dad.
Okay, but second of all, I would never want to deprive Dirk of that noble honorific.
What? No way.
Yeah, way. He's your daddy, dude.
Oh, fuck no.
Epilogues are pretty cool, right?
Oh, man.
I said it!
I would never call him that. I mean, I know it's true, but I just wouldn't. Wait.
I had to say it.
What? Say what? Like, Daddy Dirk Strider?
Oh my god.
Because God's
interesting development.
Anyways, you read your line.
I did.
You did?
Read it again.
Yes.
Okay. Something feels wrong. Like, some shit's about to go down, and I gotta...
Dave's unsettled feeling is correct. He senses Jake is in danger. No, he knows it. There's about to be an assassination attempt. Coquette must be protected, and Jake, the intended target, must be obscured from a sniper's path.
Carcat, dude, get down.
What? There's no time. Dave takes flight. He swoops Carcat off the stage and around the corner, out of view. He urges him to stay down and stay put. Dave flashes back to the podium and steps in front of Jake, who appears nonplussed. Dave puts his hand back, keeping Jake corralled behind him, and scans the crowd for threats. But the threat, unbeknownst to him, is much farther away. And despite Dave's quick and well-justified action, what is also unbeknownst to him is that the sniper no longer poses a threat of pulling that trigger, because everyone knows that, for all of the prince's shortcomings, he would never expose his beloved brother and son to the risk of a heroic death.
You're absolutely right. I would never do that. I'd never kill Dave, no matter what I felt the stakes were. Never hurt him, either. You do understand me pretty well, I'll give you that. And you're right about many things. But there are just a couple things you're wrong about. Pretty important things, actually.
And what would those things be?
First of all, this gun is loaded, but not with bullets.
The prince reveals this relatively uninteresting piece of information as he looks to the scope. The crosshair overlap Dave's chest, completely obscuring the view of Jake. We suppose that the prince means the weapon is loaded with tranquilizer darts. It would, after all, be a fitting callback to the manner in which he subdued Jake at an earlier moment, a fair enough way to bypass the immortality of his target, rendering Jake inactive long enough to serve his purpose. His finger hovers over the trigger, and he considers whether he can pull off 2 tranquilizing shots at Dave and then Jake in quick succession, before he is stopped. It certainly would be a risk to even try, but as the humans say, no guts, no glory.
Yes, you're right about the tranquilizer, but there's one more fact you're not aware of, which is that I never intended to aim for Jake at all.
Hello? Dave? Where'd you go? Roxy yells into the phone, but Dave continues guarding Jake. Pausing for a moment, their critical discussion of human gender. Meanwhile, the prince lowers the rifle and strongly reconsiders the foolishness he has initiated here.
No, that's not what he does. He swings the rifle around 180 degrees and points the scope towards the large, now curtainless window of a distant apartment. He zooms in quickly, cutting even shorter the little time that the dead cherub could use to impede him in some way. He takes aim, lets his finger hover over the trigger, and...
His finger tenses up, quite painfully. Perhaps it's a cramp. Whatever the malady, it isn't budging.
Ow, yeah, you got me. Can't move it an inch. The problem is, he doesn't need to pull that trigger. Earlier, when he was messing around with all this shit in plain view, he rigged the rifle to be voice-operated. All he needs to do is say...
He doesn't say it.
Oh, but he does. Fire.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
I see. So you're not going to be able to say what happens. So you're not going to say what happens next? Is that really how it's going to be? So be it. The tranquilizer dart hits the glass of Roxy's apartment window before the sound of the rifle's shot even reaches them. She hears the glass break. Seconds later, she hears the bang. She drops her phone onto the floor. She doesn't have the slightest idea what just happened until she looks over at Jade and notices the dart stuck in her neck, right in the jugular vein. She watches as Jade's huge, creepy black eyes start getting heavy. Her eyelids sag. Her head tilts to the side. She shuts her eyes completely. Her hair stops floating around ominously. In fact, there's nothing ominous about her at all anymore. She entirely resumes her status as the cute doggy girl we all know and love. She slumps over and collapses onto the couch. She begins snoring loudly while making a little canine whimper on each exhale, like the bitch she is.
Whoa! It seems uncalled for to insult her after this little stunt you just pulled. What did she do that was wrong?
Oh, what's that? You're getting a little quiet for some reason. You're going to have to speak up.
This is not the last you'll be hearing from me, Prince.
And nope, you're getting quieter, not louder. You're gonna need to work on that. Maybe try shouting it?
Soon I will be coming for you.
Yeah, I didn't catch that at all. Not even one syllable. Guess that's it for you. Back to not mattering. Not that you ever did. Come to think of it, why am I still talking out loud? That's more like it. Roxy drops to her knees by the couch, pulls the dart out of Jade's neck and tries to shake her awake. It's no use. That's a heavy dose I gave her. Could be out for weeks, maybe months. Can't have any cherubs messing with my business on this planet. At least not until I've taken my leave. But Jade's gonna be fine, don't worry about that. That was interesting though. Cherubs are fucking weird, I'll totally concede. Still not sure what makes them tick, what they idolize, what they really want. It all comes across to me as a little cloying. Perfection to them is sweetness beyond comprehension. Sugar so potent it's poison to us. To our bodies, to our soul. Like the place she was operating from was a realm of self-construction. A bubble of pure phantasmal confection. Well, I, for one, have had enough of that goddamn toothache. I'm back in the protein saddle, motherfuckers. I'm clacking my tons and the charcoal is hot. Now who's hungry for meat?
Oh my god.
So, what did we all
Only
think
on
of that?
33.
I'm gonna say, the beginning of that, wasn't a huge fan. I think the dialogue between Roxy and Dave was a little clunky and kind of like, I don't know. It felt a little forward.
I don't know. I kind of liked it. I
mean,
liked the dialogue between them.
It was all right. I wasn't really a huge fan. The fucking shenanigans between Dirk and Alt Calliup though, that also started as something that I wasn't really into. It wasn't that interesting at first, and then as it slowly unraveled, I was like, oh shit. And that the payoff for that was actually really good, I thought. So I'm going to be giving that a 1.5. Epilogues M32. All right, yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Yep, and now it's back to your Dirk voice.
Oh yeah.
I just want to say,
Thank goodness.
look.
I mean,
look at the video I posted.
Oh, let me see here.
Oh my god.
Okay, no, I'm not watching 10 minutes of this.
No, I couldn't find a version of it that was only like 5 seconds long.
That was funny,
But thank you. We're on 6?
Yeah, Epilogue 6, and I've not been changing the candy counter on the stream. I need to fix that.
Don't worry about
Also,
it.
it says candy instead of meat.
Whoops.
Meat 33. Whoopsie. You know, I should just use a number. That'd probably be easier.
A number?
See, that looks better. I mean, you can't see it unless you're looking at the stream, too. But, like, you could probably just assume it looks better. Because it does.
I looked at it. It does look better.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out how I like my audio with AirPods. I don't know if I like just having one in, or okay. I'm gonna Meat 33.
Hello.
Speaking of meat, holy shit, you just look more fucked up every time we come back to you, don't you, John? You're a disgraceful mess right now, covered in blood, mysteriously sticky. Bruised all over your arms, legs, and neck. Let's just cut to the chase. That was definitely a fade to black sex scene that just happened. Terezi practically raked rose into your back. You catch sight of yourself in the rearview mirror. You're kind of embarrassed what a post-coital train wreck you look like when she's got all... Blech. You're kind of embarrassed by what a post-coital train wreck you look like when all she's got is mussed hair.
And you should be embarrassed. Seriously, it's like you were mauled by a wild animal.
He was.
Jesus, don't either of you have any shame? I'm kidding, of course. I'm the last person to criticize a little power play in the bedroom. I just didn't expect you to be the kind of person who was into that sort of thing. You were into it, right? You're not sure. You feel weird, shaky and numb, exposed like a grape with the skin peeled off. You pull your hoodie over your bandaged chest and rub the side of your face where she backhanded you during the backseat fracas.
What?
Just once. That's a black rom thing, right? All this was a black rom thing, right? You're like a broken cup glued back together, wondering if Terezi actually likes you, or if you've just infinitely cucked yourself into the one conjurant you like the least. You're feeling something for her too, but it's on a whole other planet from where she is. Terezi doesn't make eye contact with you and she slithers back into her shirt. She rolls down the window and floats outside.
Well, come on!
You sit together on the hatch, like when you first met up days ago. Terezi crawls into your arms and nuzzles right up against your chest, so you have no choice but to hold on to her. You would have done it anyway if she asked, because you're a total sap. The kind of guy who no doubt thinks banging a girl in a car is some deep, soul-shattering experience that bonds you for life. Yeah, John, you do think that. You think that you and Terezi are basically married now.
I give up.
Oh. Don't do that. Like, I'm not suddenly going to be okay with you dying here alone just because of, what we just did.
She elbows you gently and snorts into your neck. You think that's one of the most amazing sounds you've ever heard. Objectively, though, it's a horrendous sound, like a pig makes when you're not looking. You can't quite tell if it was snorting or farting. But for some reason, the little noise gives you palpitations. Holy shit, dude, you got it bad.
No, idiot. I give up on Vriska.
Terezi says this like someone announcing they've lost their faith in God, and comparing Vriska to God sounds about right to me, since by now they're both approximately just as fake, seeing as I replaced the latter, and the former fucked off into that black hole a little earlier, never to be seen again. Can't say I feel too broken up about it. But you, John, feel extremely sad. Not for Vriska, but for Terezi. You run a comforting hand up and down her arm.
Terezi, come home with me.
Can we even go home?
Can you? You're so tired.
I don't know, actually.
What?
I mean, I don't know if I can use my retcon powers right now.
You feel the same way. Oh, sorry.
I'm so. Okay.
You feel the same way you did at the end of your battle with Lord English. 1 foot out of reality already, like you could close your eyes and sleep forever. But you can't yet, John. Try a little harder to stay awake. You can rest soon. You wake up with your back flat on the car trunk, Terezi shaking you and looking genuinely frantic. You didn't even realize you fell asleep.
John! John!
Hey, just let me take a nap, okay? Then I'll take us home.
I don't think that's a good idea, John.
She used your first name 3 whole times in a row. Wow, it's truly pathetic how happy that makes you. But it gives you the energy to push yourself into a sitting position. Rub your face and realize that you've lost your glasses. You feel so awful that you didn't even notice how blurry everything looks without them. You grope for Terezi's hand and get her thigh instead.
Hold on to me, okay? No matter what happens, don't let go.
Are you sure you can do it?
No. But
you won't know if you don't try, so give it everything you've got. But 10 out of 2, I got to voice Dirk again.
Congratulations.
I don't know how I feel about having Dirk back in control again.
I know how I feel.
Oh, you're not a fan of my return? Ooh! That was a lot of noise. So I'm gonna write my review for that. I thought that, similarly to my thoughts on the one I gave it 2 out of 2, I think they have a good dynamic. I think it was really funny when Dirk called John pathetic. I just think that's funny. But it wasn't really that interesting. It's like a setup for something. 1 out of 2. M33. Full thoughts on the stream. 1 out of 2. I haven't had a negative thing in a while. It's been a while since a negative review score.
Yeah, for me and for Candy.
Yeah, things keep getting better.
Just get ready for the part where Gamzee is the whole thing.
Oh, God. You know what? Gamzee does show up again, and I'm fucking terrified. I know exactly what happens. I have no doubt that I actually am going to give negative reviews when that happens.
He shows up again. He does Fortnite dances right. Like, I know there's no images, but you can just read through the Fortnite dances.
Oh, yeah, no. It's an ASCII art.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
This is real. It happens, I promise.
I don't... If it does, I'm
This
kidding.
really is the Dark Souls of Homestuck.
How dare you make that joke?
This really is the Dark Souls of Japanese shoot-'em-ups.
This really is the Dark Souls. This really is the game of reading, you know? It just is.
This
really
stream
is
is
the
the Dark
reading
Souls of my life.
Damn. We're just a bunch of professional gamers right here.
How
I
are
will
any
not
of
take
us
credit for any of
professional?
that. I will not take credit for any of that.
I'm an
am
esports gamer.
I am an amateur,
I
and
am
that will be my
absolutely
title
an
from now on, and
amateur.
I'm not disclosing why specifically I'm calling myself an amateur.
North, you're a Gucci gamer.
I think you actually broke him.
Gucci gamer.
The sound of me hurling.
Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second before we
The
continue.
sound of vomit coming from my
Let me
mouth.
just let's see. Look in our server real quick.
What now?
I don't see anything.
No, I know. It's not in the here now. Hang on. Let me just
I see.
Okay.
Bye.
He left.
What?
Hello.
Fucking change it!
You can change it yourself. You can change it your fucking self.
It's not that way for me.
Oh, okay. Hang on. There you go. Okay.
How long is this chapter? Okay. I'm just looking because I'm gonna work on something because I don't think I voiced anyone in this.
Okay.
I'll make the dream real.
Oh, okay.
That scares me.
Meet 34.
Here we go.
Speaking of giving it everything you've got, here comes Jake McGee, about to pop his pistols off in front of a whole crowd of Karkat's progressively prismatic proletarian partisans. Okay, let's strike that bit of alliteration from the record. I don't know what came over me. I probably just made the mistake of getting too close to the gaping black hole that radiates pure acidity in the space between Jake's ears. His event horizon of buffoonery has the dual effect of making everything around him slightly lamer, while sucking unsuspecting victims into the wanton sexual indiscretions, which, if you're very lucky, you'll be too drunk to even remember. But, well, look at him. How can you not fuck this guy? I mean, I'm never gonna fuck him again, but I bet there's a good chance that you want to. Don't even try to say you don't, because no one's buying it. After all, that's what this entire election is about to boil down to. Decisions made based on the primal fuckability of the dumbest asshole on Earth. The crowd is all in a tizzy waiting for Jake to sashay his famous ass back up onto the podium. It was quite melodramatic, that little assassination fake-out I staged. It might have even inadvertently jumped the Vantis campaign in the polls. Of course, I'd never do something so stupid as turn Karkat Vantis into a martyr. God, could you imagine? The last time some incompetent asshole with his blood color bumbled his way into a tragically symbolic death, the entire troll race spent half a millennium stroking themselves off to it until they were convinced hearing the word fuck could trigger spontaneous enlightenment. No thanks. Jake's going to put an end to Karkat's political career with a level of gravitas it deserves. All the pomp and circumstance of a wet fart. Here comes the man of the hour. He stops at the base of the stage, adjusts his bow tie, rolls the hemline on his shorts up another notch to show the top quarters of his finely tuned and greased vastus lateralis muscles. He slides the endorsement speech Dave has so considerably prepared for him out of his pocket. I let him read it over one more time, even though there's nothing in the universe that could possibly matter less.
Yo, sure you still want to do this?
Yeah, it's not too late to call it off. By which I mean this entire fucking comedy of errors that Dave preposterously insists on calling a campaign. Or how about the election itself? We can put the kibosh on that too if you want. If you're feeling uncomfortable, Jake, just say the word. We'll stick a prong shovel in the whole deal and go home.
Dave elbows him.
Or, just your speech.
Don't be daffy, chaps. If I were the sort of man to balk at a bit of hot potato in the evening, I wouldn't be where I am today. Dave and Karkat exchange a look. They don't stop him, though, because a plan is a plan. Jake spins on his heel and goes swaggering up towards the podium, grinning cheek to cheek at the familiar sound of a crowd chanting his name. He sets his speech down and smooths out the paper only to find his hands swamped with sweat. What's that, Jake? You didn't notice your hands were sweating until now. Not surprising, considering how overtaxed your precious few neurons are at any given time.
Hello, folks. Dandy weather we're having here, isn't it?
Jake's hands are so sweaty they've smeared the words in the speech beyond recognition. He begins to panic.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out on this banjo of a day to, do whatever it is we've all congregated to do.
At the bottom of the stage, Karkat and Dave put their heads together in adorably platonic conspiratorial kinship. Karkat whispers directly into the shell of Dave's ear. I don't even have to direct him to do that. It's just his natural inclination to practically stick his tongue straight into the center of Dave's skull, while practicing a bit of perfectly harmless, non-sexual, intimate close-talking. Jesus, if I have to watch one more minute of this beta bitch calamity, I'm gonna fucking dissipate on an atomic level.
What is he doing? I saw him reread the speech.
Yeah. I don't know what this public speaking shit every day maybe is just how he warms the crowd up. Let's give him a...
Dave, are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. For a moment, something felt off.
Again? What, is the assassin going to take him out after all?
No, it's not that.
It's wonderful to see a jammy cornucopia of supporters. By golly, the lot of you are enthusiastic about that Karkat chap. Which means we potentially have a few things in common, since I've come here to...
Jake tugs at collar. Jake tugs at collar. Jake tugs at collar. Jake. Oh yeah. Jake tugs at collar. Jake tugs at collar. Jake tugs at collar. Jake.
You really don't like that sentence, do you?
It's not competent.
Jake tugs at collar. It feels tight suddenly. He's dripping buckets down under his suspenders. Dark patches are starting to form on his dress shirt.
Rather, that is to say, in delicate times such as these,
even though usually it's a tougher of a bad idea to talk politics in public, today we have almost certainly gathered here to have what is definitely a political conversation. Yes, that does seem to be the lay of the land. That I've come here to tell you all about my political opinions, which I will get to shortly and with minimal verbal because I... He's trembling so hard he begins to worry that the crowd can hear it. The sound of somebody shaking a soda can filled with coins. He goes pale as the depravity of what he's about to do hits him like an 18-wheeler. I've made a terrible mistake. Hey Jake, don't undersell yourself here. You've made several terrible mistakes, especially as of late. One might even say you've made a shit ton of them, and that's just this fucking week. Or if you'd prefer, a rusted jalopy stuffed to the whirligigs with gum fesulence or whatever inept combination of archaic word garbage will help underline the sheer level of personal failure you've managed to achieve. Why don't you have a good long think about that, Jake? Is this really the time for a good long think? Jake muses to himself, actually putting a finger to his chin like some public domain clip art picture of a befuddled guy. If the crowd is confused by his rapid cycle mood changes, they don't show it. Jake's got a bit of a day drinking problem, which has been slavishly documented in the global tabloids. That's how you avoid responsibility, isn't it, Jake? You can fool your fans, but not yourself. The truth is that there's a canniness to the act. Partially cultivated. You're stupid, but you're not nearly as stupid as you pretend to be. What in the devil was I thinking coming here? Why did I came here to slide the biggest knife any motherfucker ever wielded directly into your friend Jane Crocker's back? She loves you, Jake, more than anything, and you toyed with her heart. And you would have guiltlessly toyed with her kettle drums, too, had it not been for a little bit of divine intervention, let's decide to call it. But wait, you're thinking, wasn't Jane merely executing a cold-blooded maneuver to rein you into the stable of her campaign using her body? How are you the bad guy here? That's true, she was trying to do that. But come on, is she ever so much less experienced than you in these matters, Jake? And without certain invisible guardrails in place to prevent it, she would have thrown herself at you again and again with wide-eyed, girlish wonder. Or at least that's what you'd like to believe. That people can't resist you. That you have no responsibility for their feelings. That everyone uses you. That you're the victim. Yes, it's so unfair that anyone in this universe of the last has ever had a single expectation of Jake English. Why should anyone respect your personal autonomy when you're practically begging to be taken advantage of? But tell me, Jake, which one of us is really the bad guy here? Jake begins to tear up. He wipes his eyes with what he thinks is a subtle and manful feint, but everyone in the crowd sees what's up. He's trembling, feeling small and naked and raw, like new flesh after a scab's been pulled away. He's scared. He's been scared. He's been running from this feeling his entire life. All because he was so pants-shittingly terrified of being in love with Dirk Strider. And why wouldn't he be afraid? He knows what will happen when he finally admits it. He knows deep down that to truly love Dirk would be to submit to him.
Oh my...
That's a scary thought. It takes a certain degree of mental fortitude to admit that you love someone so intensely it could subsume your entire personality. Jake can see now that it's simply how things were meant to be. There are leaders in this position, there are leaders in this world and there are followers, which is a fact that has absolutely nothing to do with the position one prefers in the bedroom. Jake can't believe he's wasted years denying something so elemental to his nature that it might as well be on the periodic fucking table. He braces his shaking hands on the podium and tries to catch his breath. His mouth is filling with saliva, much like it does when he's about to throw up, or when he's desperately, devastatingly aroused. Jake, are you aroused in public, thinking about your ex, and in such tight shorts? Sorry, I'm overdoing it. That should be enough. Dude's about to pop off. The words erupt from his mouth like a tragic, Dirk-thirsty Vesuvius. I love Dirk! I'm in love with him! I'm in love with Dirk!
Oh my god!
And to love Dirk is to obey him. What would Dirk want him to do in this situation? Definitely not sell out his good and dear friend Jane for a loudmouth pipsqueak who noisily transcends failure even as he redefines it. Do good by her, Jake. Do good by me.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Boy, howdy. Sorry about the hiccup there, folks.
Hiccup?
Shaking my fucking head.
I've been dealing with some personal issues as of late and was momentarily distracted. I know what you've all come here today to hear. There has been quite a ruckus in the press these past few weeks concerning the subject of the election, and more importantly, where I stand on the candidates. So today, I'd like to set the record straight on that matter, as well as all other matters. You see...
Oh shit, sorry. Oh no, he's not who I think he is.
What? What the fuck is happening?
Karkat whips his head around and sees Dave bolt towards the stage, his palm outstretched to stop Jake from doing what he thinks he's doing. He's fast, but not fast enough. Jake opens his big dumb mouth to make the only important contribution to the plot he ever has, or will ever make in his whole sad, pointless joke of a life. Having said that, it's not like we're going to sit around and listen to any more words come out of his mouth than we strictly need to. Christ almighty, what are we, masochists? Nah, that's enough of that. Let's see what John's up to. I hated that. I fucking hated that. Jesus Christ, Dirk. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, what the hell, Dirk?
That is a fucking -1 out of 2. As fun as it was to voice that was fucking awful.
What the hell? That's like Class A manipulation.
Like, not even Class A. Like, he took the book on manipulation, he studied it thoroughly for 20 years in the woods, and then he rewrote it and made it even fucking worse.
Yeah, he did! Like, what the hell? I hated that so much!
In fact, you know what? -2 out of 2. That was bad enough for a -2.
No, I absolutely agree. Like, what?
Okay. So I guess I spoke too soon when I said no negative reviews for a while.
We all did.
Oh, boy.
I didn't say anything.
You shut up. You're a dermatologist.
What do you mean? I wasn't gonna say anything to support him, I promise.
You just like it because Dirk's being dominant.
All I'm saying is that sexually...
And to love Dirk is to obey him.
I'll be over here.
See, there he goes!
I'll be way back here.
Caught like a rat in a fucking trap.
I'll be way back here.
God damn it, I haven't been updating the number. I guess I should... I'm gonna make the window a little smaller so I can more easily keep track.
But yeah, no, that was definitely manipulation, and like for me for that chapter, like I got some like I didn't like what was happening, and I was like in the back of my mind begging for there to be some way that Callie like made it so that Jake, like at the end of that, even though Dirk was doing all that he was doing, that in the end Jake still managed to endorse Karkat for whatever reason.
I mean,
and just flipped the fucking table.
Dirk did cut away.
I know, that's exactly what I'm thinking, is hopefully we can fix that. But
that was fucking bad, dude. Oh my god.
I got some flashbacks to other stuff in my personal life But in terms of like other stuff, I won't say. I don't need to add anything else.
No, I know exactly what you're fucking talking about. Oh.
I think most of us in this call do.
Oh no. I basically finished what I was saying about
No,
that.
no.
But I was saying there's other reasons as to why I did like that chapter.
There it is.
I can't imagine why.
I didn't like it.
Good. Neither did we.
Yeah.
Okay.
Neither did we.
I didn't get to finish the thing I was making.
You have more time, I think. Oh wait.
Yeah, we've got this last.
John's
one.
gonna be in this chapter.
No, John doesn't talk for a little bit, so you can like.
Okay.
I'll give you a flag.
Okay.
It's gonna be very subtle,
okay.
though. I'm still gonna do it in the Dirk voice.
Okay. Just say it as Dirk voice. Say the secret word.
Okay, I'll say the secret word, and I don't need to say what the secret word is because we both already know what the secret word is.
I want to know.
Okay.
We all know what the secret word is.
I don't.
No, we
Yeah.
all do.
I think
All
I
of us
know
do.
Don't worry about it. I will know what it is.
No,
when
I
he
think
says
I
it.
know what it is.
Okay.
Okay,
Meet.
I think I know what it is now. I just fucking figured it out.
Meet 35.
You zap back to Earthsea with the last of your energy, and I do mean last. You place your first foot on the ground, stumble forward 3 steps, and cough up blood. Resi has to catch you under your arms, but you're already going translucent around the edges. Your skin is cooling to the touch. The poison is coursing through your body so furiously, it's making your veins feel like cords. Terezi can tell you're dying. She's not in great shape herself, but she manages to tug you on your feet.
John, come on! Let's get you to Jane.
You try to remember if you've ever been revived by Jane before. You honestly can't recall. So much shit has happened. Maybe? It doesn't matter. This isn't a wound you can recover from. It's game over this time. No healing, no afterlife, no cosmic clock proclaiming your sacrifice is heroic. The poison needling through you is antithetical to narrative relevance. You're not dying, John. You're being erased. Cherubs don't fuck around. We've both been learning that the hard way. I guess it's tragic, though. Maybe not in the conventional sense. My view is, the real tragedy with you, John, is that you never mattered all that much. For those on the level of the cherubs, you know, and now my level as well, you were never all that special, despite the critical role you played. You were just a middling glob of human glue used to seal one glaring gap left in canon. A simple tool to be wielded by a mechanic whose consciousness has risen high enough to see the machine for what it is. Your complete lack of remarkability, specific motivation, drive, opinion on where to direct your own fate. These fucking hell. These deficiencies. I'm looking it up. I'm Googling it.
Deficiencies?
Pretty
Hang
sure
on.
that's it, yeah.
Deficiency.
God damn it. These deficiencies are exactly what made you so useful, so susceptible to being endowed with the Eunice I've borrowed to satisfy my purposes. You slip from Terezi's grip and faceplant into the grass. You reach an elbow beneath yourself so you can roll over onto your back. You want to see the sky. What was it that thought when you went home? What was it that you thought when you went home, John? Back to your real home. That the sky here is too bright? That it looks like someone nudged the contrast a couple degrees in the wrong direction? How does it look now? Close your eyes against the light. Shadow the Hedgehog is a good game, you think?
I finished the thing I made.
Sweet. Thank you, God.
Shadow the... Oh no!
Oh my God.
Oh! That's so awful! Why did you make that?
Oh, I didn't even notice. He's doing the fucking dance. He's Fortnite dancing. Oh, God.
How did you not notice? That's the main point of the thing!
I just noticed that there was the big floppy penis. That was.
I could see what it is. You put the penis on stream.
It's not a real penis, so it's fine.
It's
Not a real penis, so it's fine. So said the words of God.
It's not a real penis, so it's fine.
Oh my God!
I don't think it matters. And I don't think this is a wound God can fix.
Don't be ridiculous!
Of course I can fix it.
I'm being serious, okay? As soon as I got bit, I was dead. No. Even before that, I was dead the moment I woke up that morning.
I need a second. Well, that's a little melodramatic. Not quite, John. You died the moment you made the decision to go meet your destiny. You would have lived if you made the other decision under a certain definition of the word living. You might have even lived until the end of your immortal lifespan, as shitty as that sounds. The objective reality of that life might be in dispute by some of the more pedantic canonistas out there. The outspoken sophists, when it comes to what counts and what doesn't, they know who they are. But whatever kind of a life in a bubble you'd be living, at least you'd still be breathing in it. That was the actual choice Calliope was giving you that day. That's why she looked so sad when you decided to fight Lord English, even though you knew both then and now that it was the only choice you possibly could have made. It was, John. This will be the best outcome for everyone. I promise.
John!
Hey, I'm here.
Trezzy kneels at your side. She doesn't do anything sappy like take your hand, though. Mostly because she knows how this is going to go. And she doesn't want to experience the tactile sensation of feeling your pulse slow under her palm.
I've got dying words to say and stuff.
Really? Dying words? Oh my God, Egbert. You really are the lamest person who has ever lived. This isn't a movie, you complete dump ass. You're dying and you won't even let me help you.
Rosie, are you crying?
She wipes her eyes and nods.
I can't believe it.
I resent the implication that I would pretend to be unaffected by your death after we had an emotionally significant sexual encounter in the back of the four-wheel device once belonging to your dad, human Lucis. Dead
I guess
Lucis.
even after all that, I'm still a little intimidated by you.
Still?
Yeah. I mean, you have black feelings for me, but I just can't feel stuff like that. I'm just a human after all.
John,
It's okay. I'm glad that I got to be with you, even if it was just for a little while. Do you mind if I say something stupid? Potentially even multiple stupid things.
would you still say them even if I said no?
Probably.
Then I'll be your death side confessor. Say all the stupid things, John. I will remember them for you.
Wow. Actually sound kind of romantic.
She doesn't confirm or deny the intent of her statement. She cries quietly and waits for you to say whatever dumb shit is rattling around in your poison-addled mind. There's a chilly breeze rolling in from the mountains. It rustles through the trees, breaking the perfect silence of an autumn afternoon. You try to touch her face, but you can barely see now. You miss and lovingly caress the air instead. Your hand lands back on your chest. You feel blood soaking through your shirt. You're bleeding again.
Oh man. Now that I'm on the spot, I can't think of anything significant to say. I always hoped that if I was in this position, I'd have something really awesome and memorable to say, like Nick Cage would, if he died.
Don't worry, I'll tell everyone you said something really cool.
Would you really do that for me?
If you want me to.
I don't think anyone would believe you.
No, they will. I promise I'll watch every shitty movie you like and find just the right stupid fucking quote. Something that nobody would ever doubt John Egbert would use as his final words. They'll believe it, trust me. I'll make them believe it.
Trezzy, you know, I think I really love...
Don't you dare!
I really love...
Don't you dare fucking die on me in the middle of a love confession, I forbid it!
But...
Then John dies in the middle of a love confession. Rosie leans closer, then holds perfectly still. He tilts her ear around him and sniffs once more. There, she can hear it. The slow seeping of blood, like a distant stream. The scent of his life leaving his body. Strangely unmistakable, like the quality of the air before it rains. She listens to him bleed while she smells him die. Tarzi presses her ear to his chest and confirms that his heart was stopped. Her tears dry up at that. She's so devastated that she can't even fucking cry. What is she supposed to do now? What is she supposed to do now? When John was the one who asked her to come back to this place. Would she ever have had any intention of returning if it weren't for him? She doesn't know anymore. She remembers his voice so earnest and agreeable, asking her over and over again to come home. In multiple realities, all he wanted for her was this, to be home safe with all their friends. And now that she's here, she's lost. Legs shaking, she gets to her feet and takes a whiff of the horizon. Where the fuck am I, she thinks. How do I just get on with living here after everything that just happened? That's definitely a fair question, but I have one that's much more important for her to answer. Terezi, are you seriously just going to leave the body here?
Huh?
Of course not. Terezi's a practical girl after all. She digs the wallet out of her blood-stained pants and captures the corpse. She holds it close to her heart, like a secret, like John's stupid last words, a confession whispered for her and no one else. And then she starts walking home.
Wow.
I died.
Ooh.
I gotta say, I knew this was coming, but this was actually well written.
I like
Well
it
written.
as
Dirk's still an asshole, but yes.
Yeah.
well.
Well, you know, I like that part.
Welcome to the club.
It's my club.
You can
You're
capture
just
a log
member.
of dead
No,
body.
it's not. It's mine.
Okay, say what you're saying, hi, John.
You can capture a log of dead body. You can't capture log living things except for like salamanders or something. But you can capture log a dead body.
I mean, you can capture like a fucking car. Come on.
You can capture log me then.
You wouldn't capture log a fucking car, would you?
You wouldn't download a pizza.
That could be capture logged.
Piracy would just not exist because everything could just be piracy in Earthsea. Because I mean, frickin', you could just capture log something and then throw it through the fancy machine and make clones of it.
That's
Or
true,
just
but I
like
think
it was.
only limited amounts of people have access to those machines.
I see.
Only people
A
who've played
fake post-scarcity society that still requires capitalism to run.
Yeah, that's why it's dumb.
It's just helping the economy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So
Stop talking about the economy, Dave.
So I don't know. I like that. I wouldn't say it was 2 out of 2. I'd say it was at least a 1 out of 2. I thought it was pretty good, but I didn't think it was like great. Considering the material we've gotten tonight, it wasn't particularly great, but it was pretty good.
Is that
I died!
again?
Yeah, in real life.
That was a 34.
my bones!
Oh no, your bones! We need to get you to the bone hospital immediately.
There's a bone hospital?
Yes, you're the doctor.
What?
I
I have a degree?
I'm going to screenshot
surgery on this man
captures
immediately.
the corpse because I think that's a funny line.
We can't. We cannot go. The plot needs me to die.
No,
So 1 out of 2.
we're not letting you die. Dirk has no power over this realm.
No.
He does, however, have power over the doctor, which we're all scared of.
And then Hadron drops dead.
Wait, well, hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What did you just say, Otto? You said he has power over the doctor?
Which is
Wait.
you.
Which
That's exactly what I thought you were insinuating, and then you said we're all scared of the doctor.
what the fuck
We're
are
all
you
scared
talking
of what
about,
he can do to the
doctor?
doctor.
What the fuck are you talking about, a
Are
doctor?
you not listening to what we just did? Hadron's bones are killing him. We need surgery in the bone hospital.
Oh, I see. I
The
was-
doctor.
I was preoccupied with writing my review and then posting my review.
Okay, blogger.
Fuck off. You know, if blogging was actually a feasible means of sharing opinions in 2020, you know I'd be using one.
I'm preoccupied with frickin' this GIF I made. It's really good.
I thought you were preoccupied with bone disease.
Oh,
I fixed it.
Yes,
Don't worry
come
about
to
it.
my hospital.
No, I fixed it myself. I just had to twist
So
my arm
this
a
is-
little bit.
So
No!
we're just gonna end the stream on this nice GIF. This nice, wonderful GIF. That was
I love how
fun.
the animation's completely broken because frickin' the Fortnite bones are weird.
Fortnite bones. Fortnite bones. Fortnite bones.
They're frickin'
Yes.
weird.
Fortnite bones, calm down.
They're weird.
What is that sentence?
Fortnite bones!
Fortnite bones.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm fucking ending the stream. God damn it. Good night, YouTube audience.